Hello, Toon here, back again. This time with Chap Kick on the PC Engine FX. This is a arcade style bubble bobble slash tumble pop slash sort of platform sort of game. I say with the FX, there's not that many games you can really play in English, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame. There's not many of them you can really play. A lot of them tend to be very expensive. So, but anyway, this is one of the arcade games actually on the machine. On the main menu, we got options, and we got main game. So we'll pick the main game. You get a choice of two characters, Chip or Chap. So we'll go Chip. Here you can basically, that's your normal start game as normal, and this one by here is like a continue game, so it saves it to the memory of the machine, and depending on how far you can get, you can continue from where you left off, or where the world you left off anyway. So right guys, I've cut the loading out. Actually you don't want to see it. Anyway, what you do, you get a little gun, you get this little Puyo type thing, which you have to chuck at the enemies, which you can't chuck very fast, as we found over there. You chuck them at the enemies, and then the enemies get dazed. Once they're dazed, you can kick them then. And you can kick them into other enemies for extra points. You pick up power-ups, like I've got two by here now, as you can see. Which is quite cool. And basically you have to clear the levels as best as possible. You get bigger bonus for the more you can bounce into other enemies. You can pick up power-ups, you can get 4 balls altogether, which is quite cool. And basically you just play through all the levels in the different worlds, and that's pretty much it about this game, really. It's quite a nice little game. You get 2 different types of jumps. You can get a quick hop jump, which can be useful, or you get the full big jump. Some of the enemies some of the levels and platforms can get quite awkward, and they don't have like full-size jumps, they have little mini jumps. The only problem with them is it can be a little bit awkward sometimes to hit the enemies on this game, which, like I say, this game's not perfect, but for the FX it's pretty good. So unfortunately, a lot of FX games you can't play. Like, there is lots of really cool looking Japanese RPGs on the FX, but unfortunately a lot of them are unplayable because they're in Japanese, or you could try and fumble your way through them, you know. Oh, invincibility, nice. Yeah, so basically you make your way through the worlds on this, one by one. Oh, wrong button. Hey, got an extend then. It's a lot easier on this when you've got multiple like Puyo balls. And you get the power up. Those enemies up the top are a pain in the ass. Those pole enemies. They do that too. And it's pretty random when they do it as well. Ah, come on. So it's best to try and push other enemies into them. But that's easier said than done half the time, to be honest. Cool. Oh, I wasn't expecting to fire the can at me. So the enemies on this game, they go in some weird patterns. It makes it quite easy. Ooh, there's the enemy. There's the boss thing that comes up, and if you take too much time, like you do in a lot of these games. That was close. Those bloody electric poles. They're a nightmare. That's quite a nice one. I hate those poles. Ah, they got such a reach on them as well. They're really annoying. It's a shame with the FX that they never really had any of the games that sort of made the PC Engine such a fabulous console to own. Gotta watch us sometimes. Cool, I'd power up then. Yeah, so you get the idea. It's pretty much this and rinse and repeat basically. Fight bosses as you go along as well. Here we go. Now here we go. Can I beat the boss? That's the question. Ooh, that was close. I'm trying to hit some of these enemies into this boss. As I said, it's a little bit easier said than done, to be honest. Ah, come on. Right, yeah, guys, anyway, that's Chip Chap Kick on the PC Engine FX. It's not a bad little game. If you've got the FX, it's definitely worth playing. I wouldn't recommend buying it. 150 quid for it is just, it's way too expensive, to be honest with you. So just download the ISO and play it on your FX, I would. Anyway, guys, this is Chip Chap Kick. I'll be back tomorrow with the next game. See you then.